Well, are you feeling flat too? Sometimes you just don't have any puff, do you? Oh, don't go thinking that I chat with my tires often. Although it's true that I do give them more attention than most drivers do. Let's be honest, when was the last time you did this? You see? And that's why lots of car drivers are going around without enough pressure in their tires, which in fact is an expensive luxury. Because when the pressure is low, the contact area between the tire and the road gets a good bit larger, and so the rolling resistance rises too. And what that means is less air equals more fuel consumption. And yes, that's an extra problem for your wallet and for the environment. If that were just the end of the story. Tires are subjected to huge forces, particularly when cornering fast. It's as if the car shifts across the rubber to the outside of the curve. And it does that with its weight and with the cornering forces. Hard work from the tires. Now let's look at that all again, with rather less pressure this time. You can see how the rim moves much further across the tire. This can go so far that the tire jumps off the rim. And that, of course, is extremely dangerous. That is why legislators have decided to insist on better safety. As from November 2014, all new vehicles in Class M1, which is all vehicles with up to 8 seats plus the driver, in other words everything from a sedan through to a camper van, will have to be fitted with a system that registers tire pressure or its change over time and transmits corresponding information to the driver while the vehicle is traveling. Both indirect and direct measuring systems are to be allowed for this purpose. I'll explain it to you. Modern vehicles are fitted with ABS and ESP systems. Using the rate at which the wheel is turning, these detect that its circumference has changed and report it to the driver. This is indirect measurement, calculating from those parameters. Continental is a manufacturer of both indirect and direct systems, but it's prioritizing the systems that measure directly, because they find the tire pressure more quickly and more accurately. This valve has something special about it. It includes a pressure sensor, and that sends information about the pressure and temperature of the tire to the car's control unit and tells the driver straight away if there is a critical loss of pressure. That is direct TPMS, the tire pressure monitoring system. And of course there is a sensor of this sort at every tire, which means that the driver can find out immediately exactly where the problems are occurring. Right, Tobias? Exactly. Continental offers various training courses on this subject. What can I learn about it from you? Basically, we have 3 different training courses. There is a 2-hour information presentation in which we introduce participants to the subject of tire pressure monitoring systems. How do they work? What special features are there? What does the introduction of tire pressure monitoring systems mean to the workshop? In a 4-hour seminar, we are aiming specifically at sale advisors, and we deal with price calculations, procurement, timetable planning, information for customers and workshop equipment. Finally, we have a purely technical training course in which we take a whole day to be introduced to the practical side. In this one, we take a look at the whole process as well as the questions that come out of it. It makes an awful lot of sense to follow one of those training courses of yours. Continental is, after all, the only manufacturer with expertise in both tires and sensors. And because we also take care of the aftermarket. Everything that we supply is up to original quality. We follow the manufacturer's regulations exactly, both for servicing and for training the sensors. And on top of that, we also offer what we call service kits. With these, we just replace the necessary parts of the system when doing a tire service. That saves time and money for both the workshop and the customer. Continental has been in the European market with TPMS since 2003, and this head start has paid off because on the basis of experience with the first generation of these sensors, the company is already a few steps in front. Starting with the 2014 winter tire period, Continental will be offering pre-programmed multi-brand TPMS through the VDO REDI-Sensor concept, in addition to the vehicle-specific sensors. What this means is that 3 different versions of the VDO REDI-Sensor cover a large number of all those vehicles on the market that are fitted with the direct system. And on top of that, these sensors are appearing in an entirely novel form. The REDI sensor is the same size as a 50-euro-cent piece, and it also has a few advantages over the other sensors on the market, doesn't it? Absolutely. The sensor no longer needs any additional programming of the sort needed by other aftermarket solutions. Like I said, original part quality. And what speaks very strongly in favor of our new generation of sensors is that because they are attached inside the tire, they are totally safe from outside influences. But how do I fasten the sensor inside the tire? In fact, the process is quite simple once you know how it's done. The place inside the tire where it will go is cleaned, and the sensor, which is already inserted in the rubber container, is then glued to the inside of the running surface of the tire. There is a practical push-on tool to make it easier. The exact method is of course something we'll show you in our training course. That's the future of the tire pressure monitoring system, fast and uncomplicated for better driving safety. But even if your vehicle doesn't yet have tire pressure sensors, give your tires a bit more attention. Whatever the weather, they have to provide an optimum attachment to the road. That's a tough job, and let's be honest, don't we all do our jobs best under a little bit of pressure?